Alright, well, I came out here today to get started on replacing these lower control arm bushings before my upper control arm bushings come in, but those are seized. The nut is seized to the cam bolt, to the cam on the bolt. So I put heat to it and everything, and you can see the wear mark right there. I pushed it back down. It was worse than that. So I'm not even going to mess with it because I don't even have replacement cam bolts for that. And if I keep on messing with it, one or two things are going to happen. Then the nut's either going to break loose and I can take it apart, or it's going to snap the bolt off or something. And I'm pulling with everything I got, the big cheater pipe and everything. It's still not breaking loose. I put heat to it. It's still not breaking loose. So I guess I'll be ordering me some, I don't know if I'm going to order cam bolts or if I'm just going to go ahead and order the cam bolt delete kit. I'm probably going to order cam bolts because as it sits right now, these lower control arms actually need to be longer. That's why I have the cam bolt pushed all the way back. I have more adjustment back here too. I can get some shims and push the rear control arm out forward. But I'm probably going to order some cam bolt delete, which is just a big flat washer that you can weld in place, and I'll probably order some new cam bolts. And then when they come in, I'll just cut through the polyurethane bushing on the side and cut the bolt out, probably on both sides. That bolt should be easy, I think. I thought I put anti-seize on these things, but I don't. No, I think I put anti-seize on them the first time, but I don't know if I put them on the second time. I don't know. These, in either or, these things haven't been loose in a while, and I haven't kept up my washing with this thing like I should have after off-road trips. So a lot of crap has gotten in those joints. So I'll probably do the upper control arms anyway until UPS and USPS comes. UPS should have the light bars, USPS should have the upper control arms, so I would probably start working on the upper control arms. Those should hopefully go easier. Worst thing that can happen, that flag nut in there breaking. Anyway, I guess I'll get started on the upper control arms. Lower control arms are on hold for right now because I don't feel like snapping that bolt off, because if I snap it off, I don't have another bolt to put in it. I can probably find, I mean, I got a bolt I could put in it, but I could put it in there to limp it to a parking spot, but I wouldn't drive it. I actually kind of want to drive this thing tomorrow, so hopefully I can get these upper control arms done, and I'll drive it with the lower control arms the way they are and see. But anyway, so I'll get started on taking the upper, move the jack stands and take the upper stuff apart. And look at what the mail lady just dropped off. Adjustable upper control arms. Forget what size the tubing is, but this is just their core 4x4. This is just their tier 1, which either comes with the OEM style bushing, which is I opted for, or polyurethane bushing. I went with the rubber bushings because it's mainly street driven, and you get the reliability of the rubber bushing besides the polyurethane bushing. And then there's tier 2, which comes with a some flex joint, I think a Johnny joint, and then the tier 3, which has bigger tube and comes with a courier joint. But these are pretty darn beefy. I'm liking them so far. Don't show my address, even though I probably already did. Core 4x4. They got both an eBay store and they also got a website, but they've been selling stuff for a while. When I was looking them up and researching them, people were talking about them back in the 2000s. late 2000s, 2010, 2011, stuff like that. So they've been around for a while. Haven't really heard anything, seen anything bad about them. It looks pretty good to me. There's nothing, other than a little bit of chipping in the. Well, that wasn't a chip, but there's some a little bit of chipping right there in the powder coating. Either comes in gunmetal gray or black, or for like $5 extra per arm, you can get it in any color you want. Well, any color that they have. I don't think they'll do any fancy colors, but they got red, blue, green, orange, all the normal colors. But who knows? They might be able to do some exotic stuff if maybe you message them. But getting these, I almost wish I would have got the lower arms. But again, I don't want to spend too much on this front end because I'm trying to do long arms. So these might be going over to the red Jeep, or I'll be ordering a full set for my red Jeep. And probably, I don't know, probably red, or I don't know what color I'll go with. Probably red, I don't know. But I might just order a set of lowers and use these uppers on my red Jeep. Anyway, in the middle of getting this out, I got the nut off. Almost got it hammered out, but it's in a bind right now. And I was right before the mailman came. I got my knuckle pretty darn good using the 2-pound hammer and a piece of 1/4 inch. Pretty sure that's quarter square tube. Using it to hammer on the end of it right here, and I missed with the hammer and smacked my knuckle into it. Luckily I was wearing gloves, or that would be a lot worse than it is. It's still swollen. Still doesn't feel very good, but trying to figure out how to get it out of a bind, but I don't know the easiest way to get it out of a bind would be, but should be a lot easier to line up these adjustable control arms. I say that, but you also have to get them in a certain length. I got a chart somewhere, I forget exactly where it is, but I think I bookmarked it, or took a screenshot of it, a chart that shows the lengths for the lift that you have, and I got 3-inch coil with a 1 1/4 inch spacer, so I got a basically base almost 5 inches. That'll be what I'm adjusting it for, is 5 inches. I have about 5.5 in the back, but let me get on this, try to get this stupid bolt out, and then I got to deal with getting that out with the ball joint press, and then when I press in, I'm gonna have to and then when I press in, I'm gonna have to put some metal between here so it doesn't collapse in on itself. But let me get to it. Alright, well, I got the upper control arm out. And these bushings, I mean, it's not ripped or anything. It's ripped right there, but that's not that bad. But it doesn't seem bad. I expected these upper control arms to be bad, but I mean, you can kind of see that's definitely worn out. That's pushed towards the back. It's not center anymore. You can also tell it's ripped around the actual sleeve right there. There's actually a rip around the whole sleeve right there. And then actually, after I took these off, I thought these were going to be worse than they were, but I forgot when full parts put the lift on this thing. I was in high school. I was junior year of high school, and my dad got it for me. Bought the lift for my Christmas present, and went ahead and got 4 parts to install it. Basically, got the kit and got it installed for the price that they would have, either the kit or the install would have been. So I got half off the kit and half off the install. So, but this was like 7-8 years ago. Yeah, sounds about right. 7-8 years ago. And when they put the lift on, my upper control arms were bad, so they went ahead and put upper control arms on it. So those upper control arms aren't actually too, I mean, it's obviously ripped in the sleeve, but other than that, it's not too bad. I don't know if they replaced these or not, but I tried to, as you see the C-clamp down there, I need more than 2 hands to fiddle with that and get everything in place in order to press it out. I either need to take the coil out, which I don't have a coil spring compressor right now. I don't feel like going in time to get one. Or I need to do it from the back side and underneath. Well, still, I need multiple hands. So, I know it's kind of counterproductive. I need to put, it would be nice to put those on. That bushing is not too bad. Depending on how the driver's side is, I might do the driver's side. I think the driver's side I have more room, I think. I have more room on the driver's side. I don't have a whole bunch of steering components in the way. Yeah, I could take off all the steering stuff, but honestly don't want to do it right now. I'll probably get a weekend, get with my buddy, and replace them if I have to. But I need more than 2 hands. I can't juggle all of those pieces with the C-clamp and get it all into place. I can't do it. So I'm just gonna get these arms adjusted where they're supposed to be and go ahead and put the arms on. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put the arms on. So I'll save these bushings for another day. Save these bushings for another day. I want to put them on. Like I said, I still might put the driver's side on if I can, if it's bad, or if it looks worse. The passenger side one doesn't look too bad. It's got some stress cracks in it, but it's not just it's not just completely worn out. So I guess I'll just go ahead and put the upper control arms on and leave it be for now. I'll probably do a little bit of alignment too. This side wheel's really towed in. This side's towed in just a little bit. So get it back as straight as I can and put the upper control arms in, and I'll leave the bushings for a later date. I would like to do the lower control arms, but I need to order some bolts and stuff because those are seized, so I can cut them off and get them replaced. And the upper bushings, I just can't do it with 2 hands. I need somebody else to hold it too, so I'll do those at a later date. But let me get one of these arms adjusted to how long it needs to be. Alrighty. And there we go. They are adjusted to 16 and 5/8, which is what it's supposed to be for a 5-inch lift. Like I said, a little bit less than 5 inches, but that's good enough. I checked my lower control arms, and they should be 16 and 5/8 too. Roughly with the adjustment I got right here, it's really close, but it's really close to 16 and 5/8. So if I could even make that longer if I had to, but so they should both be at 16 and 5/8. The stock control arms, the stock upper control arms, like 15 something, maybe even 14 something. So this is a good length. All right, let me get one side on. Well, I was starting to get the control arm in place, and my flag nut fell down in the unibody, which is not that uncommon. I thought I had a good grip on it with the needle nose, but nope, it fell down, and when I tried to grab it out, it just fell down here. I tried to use a magnet from the outside, but I'm thinking it's all the way down here now. I don't know. Yeah. So looks like I'll be getting a bolt. Well, I'm going into town and get a couple magnets, and I might pick up a bolt too. Anyway, guess I'll be back after I get that. Oh, looky here. Went into town. This magnet was not grabbing this bolt. It's not very strong. Luckily, moved it around enough I was able to lodge it where I could see it in the frame rail and able to get this pincher on it. Oh, that's fun. It was all the way down there. But now I don't have to use the 3/8 bolts that I bought, because this is a number 10. Number 10. It's a 10 millimeter. 10 by 125, I think. Luckily I don't have to use those because this is a pretty good size. Now let's hope I can get it in there without dropping it again. Alrighty, got the upper arm on that side taken off, so I can get the pinion angle right to where I can put these bars on. One thing they didn't tell you, which I mean I guess it's kind of self-explanatory, you need new bolts. This flag nut is not, this flag nut right here doesn't go through and catch on the top of this. It doesn't. This is too short. This flag nut's too short. So I guess it's kind of good I lost that bolt down the frame rail, because I'm hoping these are long enough. These might not be long enough. Oh, these might not be long enough. But if they are long enough, good, because that just saved my bacon. Let me see if these are long enough. But I went into town to get these for the back bolts, because that flag nut I dropped in the frame rail. Is this gonna be long enough? Yeah, be long enough. So that should be good. I don't even know if I was filming that, but this looks like it's gonna be long enough. Wow, just long enough. Or is it? Wow, that might not be long enough. Hope this is long enough. I guess I won't be using washers. I need to pick up some new bolts. I'll probably pick up some new bolts. But here's my factory bolt. This is about as long as the factory bolt, so this is as long as the factory bolt, so this should work, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Anyway, let me put this on. Alrighty, I went ahead and fast forwarded. They are bolted in and torqued, and don't worry, I got my axle up and it's off the jack stand, so it's I got them torqued at ride height. After I cinched the bolt down initially, I was able to pull the nut off, put the lock washer on, and get it locked. So I got everything in. Everything's torqued. Now I'm going to put the tires on, set it down on the ground probably, and start adjusting this track bar. Excuse me, not track bar. Tie rod. So I can get my, as you see, my wheels are kind of straight. Look at that. Look at that caliper. I don't know if you can see, but it's to the eye, it is very like that. Let's see. That's straight onto the truck, or to the Jeep, and it's focusing on the background, but you could see almost the whole face of that rotor. So that's really towed in. That probably has something to do with the death wobble too. So I get all that done. The only things, so pretty much everything's new besides the upper control arm bushings on the axle, which if I have to, I will replace those later. But I also got my light bars in. So I'll be doing another video on those. I won't get them installed tonight, but I got them, so yeah. Let me get the tires back on this thing, set it on the ground. Took the front drive shaft out because the front drive shaft shot. There is. No, most of that's side to side. Most of that is side to side. There's not a lot of... There is a little bit of up and down movement, but nowhere near as much as the 91. The 91, I can literally clunk it up, down, in and out, side to side. It's horrible. So took the drive shaft off because the yoke right there, slip yoke, is bad. And my slip yoke on my rear drive shaft, which is another stock drive shaft, that yoke is going bad. So I need to order me two Adams drive shafts. I'm probably gonna do Adams drive shafts. They're big drive shafts. I'll probably get two of those, one at a time. I'll order one, wait a little bit, then order another one. So yeah, get these tires back on, get it on the ground, tighten the lock nuts, and put the tires on, toe out just a little bit, and see what happens. Alrighty, be back. Well, I just got back from a test drive, put the tires on, I got it aligned, kind of got my steering wheel straight, got those upper nuts tightened, and took it for a drive, and got the wobble fixed. It's safe to say that the death wobble was, I mean, the driver's side ball joints were definitely bad, and my track bar was definitely bad. And I got a nice bit of positive caster now. Safe to say that the upper control arms being too short for 5 inches of lift had something to do with it. Had something to do with death wobble also. I think these things are only... Yeah, these things are barely 15. These things are barely 15 inches long, the stock ones. And for 5 inches of lift, the upper control arms and lower control arms need to be about 16 and 5/8 inches long. Put the top to 16 and 5/8. I measured the bottom with the cam bolt. Makes it where it's roughly 16 and 5/8 inches long. So my upper and lower control arms are the same length. And I took it down the street, pretty much hit every pothole I could, got it up to 80 miles an hour. Other than hearing some weird things that, you know, probably just had to do with the driveline vibration. I haven't driven this thing in months, so I'm not used to driving it, especially with the tight braking and tight steering this thing's got. This thing handles 10 times better than that thing does. I love that thing. I love driving it, but anybody who has one of these things know the brakes are pretty much crap. No matter how many times you bleed them, you still don't really get a hard pedal. And you pretty much, especially if they got 200,000 miles on them, you have sloppy steering. So going from this thing to that thing is, to this thing is a freaking world of difference. The steering wheel is tight. It's really tight, and the brakes, especially with four-wheel disc, is extremely tight. It kind of seems like it might be a little bit floaty, but at the same time, this has always been floaty. It's always been kind of floaty at high speeds. I don't remember it being this bad, but there's still some tweaking to do. I do need to actually get it aligned. If I get it aligned, I'll know if my caster and everything is where it should be. But as far as I'm concerned, death wobble is fixed, and I am thankful because I can actually drive this thing. Which is kind of nice because this was my first vehicle. Got it when I was 15, almost 16. Got it in March of 2008. So it'll be 10 years old to me next year. In less than a year. I will have owned it for 10 years. It's come a long way in those 10 years, and it feels nice driving it again. So, be driving over the next couple days. I'll update while I see fit. If it starts death wobbling again, well, maybe I'll replace those upper control arm bushings. But everything's tight, everything's torqued. So yeah, I'm going to be driving this thing tomorrow. Just hope the battery doesn't die, because I think the battery's got an open cell. Yeah, big test is going to be driving it tomorrow, driving it to work tomorrow. I drove it in town, like I said, at a pretty high rate of speed, hitting most of the potholes I could, and it stayed true. It wanders a little bit, but that's probably, again, the steering in this thing is tight. There is a slight delay from the remain gearbox, just barely, but it's still a whole lot tighter than my Yukon. It's crazy. I need to go up, grease all the bushings, grease all the ball joints. I need to grease the rear drive shaft, because that rear drive shaft is bad. The rear drive shaft, the slip yoke is starting to go bad, and so I don't want to have my rear pinion bearing start to go out. Front pinion bearing I thought was going out, but it's not as bad as I thought it was. There's a little looseness to it, but it is nowhere near as bad as this thing. So yeah, I'm loving the fact I can drive it without having to worry about death wobble. Again, tomorrow is going to be the test. Tomorrow going to work is going to be the test. Anyway, clean up my crap in the garage, and I might open one of the light bars and get another short video of the light bar, unboxing the light bar. But it's going to be it. I get off at 1 o'clock tomorrow. I might be installing a light bar on the Yukon tomorrow. Just depends. But been battling this death wobble for about a year now, but the death wobble didn't get bad enough where I couldn't drive it till I've been battling it for about a year, a little over a year, I think, because it started off as little minor death wobbles with potholes, and then it went to full blown. If I go over 40 miles an hour, I'm death wobbling. So I'm so glad I got it fixed. Now I just got to go get it in alignment so I don't mess up my front wheels. I'm gonna need tires on this thing soon. Tires, alignment. This is what you get for having 2 vehicles, and in my case 3 vehicles with a limited budget. But I've rambled on long enough. Yeah, here's just another shot of them. I think I'm going to get these for that thing. I'm going to get the full set for that thing when I lift it. I'll eventually get long arms for that, but long arms on this first. I've been neglecting this a lot since I got that thing, so I got a lot of stuff to catch up on this. But I still got solid axle stuff to do. Anyway, talk to y'all later. Bye.